The display unit is mounted in the top of the flight instrument panel, and collimated symbols, presented on the combiner, provide the pilot with all the relevant flight and weapon delivery data coincident with the real-world situations. In the navigation mode, fix updates may be put in by positioning the target aiming graticule, which is slave to the radar sight line, over some prominent fixed position. In this instance, the graticule has been superimposed over a TACAN station, and radar range and dish angles are fed to the central navigation computer to provide a fixed update of the aircraft's apparent indicated navigation position. Notice the azimuth steering demand is being satisfied by superimposing the flight path vector over the terrain following dot on a heading of 026 degrees. A dive toss attack will be carried out on the bridge, and to start the attack, to obtain target position in terms of radar range and deflection from the aircraft, the pilot positions the weapon aiming graticule over the target. The aircraft is rolled to track the azimuth steering line with the flight path vector. Dive angle is 8 degrees. The pull-up anticipation cue is positioned on the azimuth steering line. Descending through 3,000 feet, the target is bracketed by the aiming graticule. The attack is broken off because of insufficient remaining altitude to complete the attack without running into the blast radius of the weapon. The pilot maneuvers the aircraft for a second attack, repositions the aiming graticule. The in-range solution cue has appeared and is moving down the azimuth steering line towards the flight path vector. The pilot is pulling towards the solution cue, which flashes as weapon release occurs. This steep dive attack sequence shows the ease with which one can roll onto the target, designate the target with the aiming graticule, and obtain an in-range solution. The pilot pulls towards the solution cue, obtains weapon release, and pulls up through 0 degrees pitch angle. The reversionary standby sight can also be used simultaneously with the electronic symbology to check the accuracy of the total system. In the event of electronic failure, either in the central computer or the HUD computer, the standby sight provides a very effective reversionary weapon delivery mode. Calibrated in 50 milliradian rings, the standby sight can be set in flight to any depression angle to give a can delivery for the particular type of weapons carried by the aircraft. In this sequence, the aircraft is in a steep dive attack on the bridge, dropping a stick of bombs along the bridge. The clarity of the symbology against the various types of background is demonstrated. In the radar bombing mode, the target aiming graticule is positioned by means of the radar PPI, and the attack is started through cloud, diving at 28 degrees on a heading of 158 degrees. The solution cue is moving down the azimuth steering line towards the flight path vector, but the pull-up anticipation cue for bomb burst clearance reaches the flight path vector first. Bomb release is inhibited, and the mandatory pull-up cross demand is obeyed. The pilot pulls up to 13 degrees to reposition for a further attack. The target graticule has been repositioned by means of the radar PPI. The pilot is satisfying the azimuth steering command with the flight path vector, diving at about 25 degrees. The pull-up anticipation cue is moving up the azimuth steering line. The in-range solution cue has appeared, but the pilot elects to continue the dive to make certain of a visual acquisition before release. Breaking cloud, the graticule overlays the target, the pilot pulls towards the solution cue, and as it intersects, it flashes to indicate bomb release. Climbing into a steep left-hand turn, the weapon system logic selects strafing mode. Returning to base after the sortie, the pilot selects approach and landing mode. This sequence shows a descent towards the runway on a heading of 348 degrees. The flight path marker overlays the end of the runway to indicate a satisfactory approach touchdown point. Descending through 800 feet, the glide path depression angle is -3 degrees. Standard ILS glide slope. Rate of descent is the standard 500 feet per minute. The flight path marker overlays the touchdown point on the runway for the present approach path. Landing is now achieved.